This is Mag212, and this is my mod overview for my modified Nerf Rhino fire and this modified Demolisher. Neither of these guns are painted, so I'm just going to go over the mods starting with the Rhino fire. I have a full mod video for the Rhino fire that I just posted, and I'll go over the modifications that I did to it now. I took out many of the locks, like the mechanical lock that prevents you from pulling the trigger if you don't have a clip in the gun. I also removed the electronic locks that prevent you from firing if your access door is open and if you don't have a clip in the gun. Other than that, I just took out a little resistance everywhere in the circuit, and I rewired the motors. I rewired it to 6 truss-fire batteries. I recommend running 5 truss-fire batteries because 6 is quite a lot, and it could potentially burn out the motors. Some people have said that you can't use 4 truss-fires with the Rhino fire, but however, I believe that you can absolutely run 4 truss-fires and have no worries about burning out the motors. If you can run 12 volts safely in a rapid strike, and the rapid strike runs off of 4 C batteries, which is approximately 6 volts, then you can run the Rhino fire on at least 4 truss fires, which is the equivalent of 16 volts. That's because the Rhino fire originally runs off of 6 D batteries. So if you just do a little proportion and some math, you'll be able to figure out that if you can run 12 volts in a gun that's supposed to be running on 6 volts, then you can run 16 volts in a gun that's originally running on 9 volts. And I am running 6 truss fires, which is a little iffy. I wanted to get 5 truss fires, but there are no holders that hold 5 AA batteries. So I just put 2 3 AA holders. As you can see in my mod guide video, I explain that a little bit more. And I would recommend running 5 and 1 dummy battery. A dummy battery is just a little cell that's shaped like a battery, but it doesn't actually contribute voltage to the circuit. That's all I really did to the Rhino fire, and now the rate of fire and velocity are much greater, and the weight of the blaster is also decreased. That's because I'm running 6 truss fires instead of 6 D batteries. It also jams less frequently because I took out, I'm not sure what I did that actually fixed that. It might just be taking out all the locks and junk like that, but I took out these little skirts. It's a little rubber thing that covers the flywheels, and if you just tear that off, I think that causes your gun to jam less. Now I'm going to go over my Demolisher. I did all the basic mods to this Nerf Demolisher. I took out the resistance in the motors as well as the electronic locks that prevent you from firing if the access door is open and if you don't have a clip or if you're not pushing down your rev trigger. In addition to those modifications, I also cut off the missile launcher, and it is exposed in the bottom, and you can see the bottom flywheel and the motors a little bit, but I didn't want to cover it because I wasn't going to be painting this, and the epoxy would just look kind of sloppy, and I didn't want to put a rail underneath because none of the rails would match this orange color. I first cut this down with my hacksaw, and then I sanded it down with 100 grit sandpaper. I didn't use any machinery, and as you can see, it's a pretty straight cut, and it's a pretty clean cut, and I'm very satisfied with it. So that's just a quick video on my modified Rhino fire and my Demolisher. Now I'll show you both of them firing. So that's the video on my modified Rhino fire and Demolisher. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. And yes, I'm wearing the same shirt I wore last week. I know.